Hello, this is the International News of Lisa Luciard, and we're going to be discussing the urgency of the country's life and to keep the country's legacies of the original country, USA, of course, Sweden, USA, of course. USA is the paradigm to show that the countries are going to be able to be saved when we put God first and justice first. My name is Lisa Luciard, and I am the presidential consultant under President Trump before he even got in 2016. You can see my work, Our Need to Give to the World, Heal American Love of God. We're going to also have the same paradigm in Sweden, same paradigm in UK, France, Ireland, Scotland, and all the countries. Let's show what's going on now and showing what's going on with the situation and how we're going to work together with this right away. So this is much work that I've done for many years now, and these documents to show you the work that we have done. And we need, number one is that there is earlier this year there was 3 divine commands, and it's simple as this: safety, save your country, protect boundaries and borders, and self-sufficient nation. And that was before that all this information has come together for the terrible, which is so bad, the situation for our countries. And we have to be like fighters. We have to be like fighters, fighters of truth individually. Individually, we have to take the truth, the sword of God's truth, and come together in truth. And I wanted to show you the situation, what's going on in my Facebook. And for some reason, they blocked it out. So let's get it open again. But we need to come together in truth and honesty about truth of saving our countries. And there's a paradigm, and we'll be able to work together, and we'll be able to save our countries. There has to be some exports. People have to have exports and new laws. They have to export the people out, export the ideas out. People have to have new laws. We have to have new international laws. And I wanted to show you this beautiful man has told us what the truth is. Here it is right here. Let's work with him first here, because he says it in a very perfect way.
Now we're witnessing an invasion. They are not refugees.
An invasion, and that's what I says. They want one world government for years. Because I worked on one world government in 2007. It's been a divine calling. It's an invasion. They want to take over. It's not that they just want to live there. This is a planned strategy. Because it's been a planned strategy for a long time now. Let's go.
No, this is an invasion of mass Islamization of Europe, which already
and I wanted to tell you, this is a part of the strategy to take down freedom. When we lost the vote for President Trump, before Obama got in and he supported Islam and all the ideas, and then our country went down all these years, and then they made the BRICS, which in my writing shows the BRICS, they want to take down America, even though the BRICS helps many nations. But then they took the vote away from President Trump. Then they had the CCP virus, CCP vaccination, and the BRICS and the coming together, the geopolitical issues. And let's go.
For at minimum 50, 60 years, Islamization in Europe. But now it is in mass. It is very...
See, this is a planned idea to take over America, which, because it's part of their control, it's part of the Quran, it's part of the Jihad Brotherhood, which I'll show you. They have a plan to take down America, just like in 10 years. That's what China wanted to take down America. Let's go on.
Evident. And so this is a global political agenda by the powerful of the world to destroy Europe culturally and religiously.
See, and this is what I said years ago in 2016, in 2011, a article on the geopolitical Holocaust and Holocaust of culture, of dialectic secularization, that means two, secularization of immorality and immorality. I wrote an article about this in 2011. It's in my book. Let's go.
I mean, to destroy Christianity ultimately in Europe, with the help of the Islamic,
Right.
massive Islamic.
And because Islamic, with the help, they're using the Jihad Brotherhood and other secret powerful people like Iran. And I said early on that Iran is tricky, to be careful. But I said in 2011, they want to make a Holocaust to Christianity and to morality and immorality. And I said before that they want to take over Christianity.
The population, and I was reading recently an article of a sociologist who made a calculation that maybe in 30 or 40 years, when it's now going on, so the majority of the population of Europe will be Islamic. Europe will be Islamic.
Okay, but they need to be exported. Those that are violent, exported out of the country and leave. The immigrants need to leave. And then there needs to be new laws. Even if they have more children, there needs to be new laws. Because in America, the Mexicans and the Latin people have many, many children. But the ones that are good citizens and they care about America, they love America, that are foreigners, they have many children, but they're respectful. And the other ones that are immigrants, that are protesters, are out. And this is what we have to do with each country. Sweden, UK, France, Scotland, Ireland, all those countries. But he is right. They have many children. But we need to have respect and new laws. And one country has to help the other.
When this will go on, because the European people have almost no children, 1 or 2. The Muslims there, they have 5, 6 to 10 children. And so you can only make mathematics.
But we still could have controls when we have new laws. And so when we have new laws, we need to come to new laws and realize the situation here and what's going on. Here's this lovely lady that I've been working on this for years about one world government.
The apathy and the ignorance on the side of the West who wanted to be so...
Okay, this is it. Now,
It is,
okay,
yeah.
this is it. This is a lovely lady that I've spoke about my work, Bridget Gabriel, and she's from that area, and she talked about the Brotherhood. But I've been talking about the whole geopolitical problems. Lisa Luciardi, I've been talking about the whole entire political problems of all the world across, because I'm a geopolitical specialist of all the world, and how we need to protect our borders and work together. And I'll show you in my writing. This beautiful lady, she knows because she lived there that there's the Brotherhood, that they want to take down Christianity. And this is Bridget Gabriel. So let's go and show you.
I would like to add to that also. It's the apathy and the ignorance on the side of the West who wanted to be so politically correct, who ignored the problem of this importation of Turkey.
See, I didn't ignore the problem myself. They killed me and did many violences against me, and I came back to life when I told them to have closed borders and been working on putting President Trump in before 2016. Lisa Luciardi and I asked to put President Trump in before 2016. I asked this for many, many, many years because I knew that this was happening in America. And I'm so grateful that Bridget made everyone aware about the seriousness of the Brotherhood. But Lisa Luciardi have made many aware before President Trump getting in. I would speak to the police too, but the priest in California, and that's where I lived, and says we need to bring freedom for our country. And my book, Our Need to Give to the World, it's all there. And she talks about the Brotherhood and how the Jihad Brotherhood want to take down our countries.
Third world savages into our countries who do not share our values.
See?
The Palestinians and their sympathizers keep talking about globalizing the Intifada. When Intifada started in 1986 in Israel, in 1996 in Israel, nobody wanted to talk about it. Everybody ignored it. Nobody cared.
See, that's what I was trying to do. when in 2011, when I came back from Rome and I wrote an article, The Economic Holocaust, the Holocaust of Dialectic Secularization of Habermas, of Reason and Religion. In Habermas's book I used with Habermas and Pope Benedicto, and I talked about morality and immorality and how we need to save our countries and not go and have other countries take advantage of us in one world government. Because I studied one world government in the 90s, and I've had this calling for years. By God, I could never learn about these things if I didn't have a calling and be trained, because I wrote that article in 2011, and I was going to school for philosophy, not for political philosophy or political ideology of one world government, and to understand geopolitical politics. And so I brought that article back, and I pleaded and pleaded for years, and then finally we got President Trump in. But let's go on. Let's go on and
I
show.
remember when I came to America, people would say, "Oh, let them all kill each other. It's over there."
No, that's it. No, we can't. And that's why I asked, I'm a geopolitical specialist. Before 2020, I wrote a main book about geopolitical problems in America and internationally. So we need to see this. And then I want to show you my work right now, about my writings, about this is a special chart, okay, about what happened to our countries and why we need to protect our countries and what they were trying to do to take over the countries of the West in Christianity. There's pillars of technology, the pillar of technology and information system, the pillar of regulations and law, the pillar of God, of heaven and earth is infinite, are those who believe in, which is in the center of life itself, the pillar of existence of daily life and people, which is very high, in the pillar of world powers. We need to put ethics first, justice ethics first. With the massive movements and controls, people's massive controls, protect your country. We need to do this of the way things are, the technology, information systems is so big because the geopolitical powers and the laws and regulations haven't equaled out to protect each country because of the massive technology systems and geopolitical powers. And then the pillar of existence of daily life. It's not like medieval time and there's only one powerful country. There's many powerful countries and they want one world government for many years. But now it's just not the American one world government, it's international. Geopolitical powers, here it is right here. Geopolitical economy, geopolitical technology, globalization. There's 9 billionaire criminals which they use to take over our country. USA did, like through China and other places, and elite criminals that want to take down countries such as Sweden, UK, Ireland, France. We need to protect these and keep our countries safe. And they could do this when we follow the paradigm and put God first in our life. Put God first could save our countries and make new laws and export those people that are protesting. And keep your country. Then there's the BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. We have to ask them, we need to work together with them to save our countries. And there's secret Masons, secret leaders, there's Sorosos and Gates that are big troubles for our America themselves, and entertainers and newscasters that didn't realize. I believe they didn't realize the contraindication of the geopolitical powers because they won't have any. No one will be able to buy the tickets. We don't want a third world country taking over any of our countries because they don't believe in the beauty of art and the beauty of individuality or even big events like that. Why would you ever want jihadist brotherhood and people to take over your country? And they'll treat women secondary. You'll live in communism. You won't be able to learn. You won't be able to have anything. This is not Dubai, the beautiful Muslims of Dubai. This is the people are from the Jihad Brotherhood. Like she said, are you with me? Like she said, let's go on and tell more.
Well, when it's over there, it's now all over the globe. And what we witnessed.
See, that's why I said it's all over the globe. And this is later. This is later what she said. This is a newer speech that she said recently in June the 3rd. It's not before, okay? She was just talking the brotherhood in one area. And people have finally woken up. I've been asking the geopolitical problems before 2020, a rise to God's truth about America and how we need to save all our countries. It's very serious because I'm a geopolitical specialist, and I showed that in Florida. In Florida, I showed how all China, Russia, and Iran are in cahoots in North Korea. And we need to realize the social media, some of them don't, I believe they didn't understand. And they didn't understand when they allowed the open borders. Then there's American company powers. And we need to realize there's a list of world powers and groups, the World Economic Forum and World Health Control. We need to stop. There are 4 principal global systems: environmental, political, economical, and social. And we need to work those out. Environmental, those are where we get our commodities in, which is very important, how we take care of our country and how our country is for the people to live in. Political, we need to keep our country, the countries they were originally. USA is the paradigm to show that Sweden's going to be able to keep their country when they put God first. UK, France is going to be able to put their country first and be first in their country. UK is going to be first in their country because they're putting God first. They're putting God first. In Ireland, they're putting God first. This is like a Moses. You all have to be Moseses to take your Israelites, the people, Christianity in the original country, and bring it to God's heart and follow God's love first, and then you will save your country. And I believe you're going to be able to save each country. And economically, you have to be self-sufficient, and socially, you have to only allow your culture, rules and regulations of what your country is based on, not the Islamic regimes. And these 4 global systems are general ideas in global understanding. But as I said, it has to be safety. Safety has to be safety. Are you with me? And it has to be protect your borders and keep your countries, and third, self-sufficiency. And that's the same thing. These are, when you do a global systems, there has to be environmental, political, economic, and social. This is very important. So let's go on. Let's go on.
Not just the tax against the Jews. Remember, they started on the Champs-Élysées 2 hours before the victory celebration.
See, this is it. This is it. As I told you, and that's why I asked, that's why I sing, and I sing about songs. I went from place to place to beg, to ask, and I want to show you the work of my work, showing the work that was a very, very serious thing, that we need to come together in truth of what we need to do for America and how we need to save her and save our countries. So it's very serious. So let's go. Let her speak while I look for that document.
The sports team, where they started looting the stores, burning the stores, breaking the glass. The Antifa-like hoodlums with the sweatshirts dressed in blacks and the hoodies breaking into the stores and stealing, and then driving a car into the civilians who were celebrating in the streets. So we're seeing the same type of pattern, and it's about time the West stands up.
See, and we are standing up, and I have been standing up, and we're going to come together in truth. Let me find that document of what I said that needs to be done on how we're going to follow the directions and how we're going to work together. They're causing trouble with my situation here. Here it is. This is how we're going to solve the problem. Safety, country protects boundaries and self-sufficiency. This is divine command in April the 30th, 2025. Each state has to be a geopolitical power in itself. So each country has to be a geopolitical power in itself. And you have to, this is praying in the spirit of the light of God. We need to put God first. Each country, each state has to be geopolitical power in itself. This was a divine message Then I thought, what do you mean by that? This is my contemplation. The strengths of the state need to develop, and the countries in all areas, ocean, land, and atmosphere, skies, protecting themselves, yet working in hierarchy of the federal and government regulations together. There needs to be some type of surveillance, of regular surveillance on all the countries. And I have an idea. I talked about the dome, which President Trump is building, and I asked to have it built right away and to show. And I was speaking outside, and someone got mad because I said I drew a picture of the dome and where to put the drones and pushed on because I had a vision. And then he walked away because he didn't know who I am. But I even have a better vision than that. Listen to this, to help all countries. We can use the leverage of the waterways and the leverage on both sides. On both sides, we can build something. There is to use a leverage as to threat and warning. In the waterways, we need to protect underneath the waterways, which I asked to make small submarines when they did the Hurricane War, even though I disagree with the war, that we need to shut it down, that they just want, that they need to come to liberation and negotiation. But we need to connect through the waterways and through the drone from up above, connecting points so we could save other countries like Germany, Sweden, Europe, UK, Ireland, France, all those. They have to have connecting points of nuclear protection and warfare, military protection. And this is what I asked, and that's what Elon was working on about SpaceX, because they used my information. It was my idea about using our dome and our area and our energy, America in the center, our paradigm, and making points from there to Germany, to France, to Sweden, to Ireland, to Scotland. Do you understand? To protect our countries from any nuclear or military war systems, and then to use America as the paradigm on how to correct those all countries. We can meet meeting points, direct lines like a geometry of drones and surveillance systems connecting communications from one country to the next. Then it gives us a large span of distance and proximities over a larger area. And then we know sooner when the missiles will go off, or the military systems, our enemy, because of our surveillance, are in many areas and more areas than can be attacked. We better know how to block the missiles, which I was asked. This is about the dome, because I am a military advisor, second in line. I'm not top military. I empower them, and I'm a specialist to have ideas. There needs to be a new system to block anything coming in of nuclear warfare. But I believe we need to connect each country together. Hence, there needs to be to make receptors and blockers, just which I asked, and they showed what the drones are there for. And the drones are there, and they're going to be coming. We need, in drones, there has to be new laws for drones. We need to understand that missiles of Iran has made. I said, why did they make it? We need to use leverage and a negotiate friends and family in America, Australia, Taiwan, and we can say we are sharing our powers with nuclear, for the nuclear warfare. Just as Russia is using Saudi Arabia, we also are friends for Saudi Arabia and friends. We need to stay friends with Saudi Arabia, which we are, to protect our borders and our geopolitical borders. Powers want to be imperialistic nation. We cannot have this. There needs to be new laws. Those people that are protesting need to be exported right away to their countries, their original countries, as fast as they protest. There needs to be new international laws. And they have to respect the people of their country, and never to give in your original country. Never. We have friends in other countries. We need to be in unison and strategic plan to set up systems to protect all countries, working in unison, using territory, skies, land, ocean, boundaries, and landline. We then have a larger distance of protection and can respond faster when there may be attack. Yet, we need to have the highest integrity and justice treaties between each other to be honest, not disclosed information, and to use them correctly. The children's present is the future of the state of the country. This is why we need to keep our countries original. You don't want Islamic ideas, they don't fit in. They'll bring women down, children down, plus they'll have controls, and they won't have fair business. They won't have fair business. They don't know how to run a country in a fair business in a free way. Why would you want them to take over your country? You need to give your all and love God first, and God will save your country when you love God first. The children's present is the future of the state and the country. I cannot say this enough because our work has to be directly related to lasting and restoring the position of all areas we restore, in that it restores itself, because it's the highest justice. So we need to prepare the children to restore our country and see, where does our country need to be restored? Where does our country need to be restored? And train the children that way. But we need to take out all Islamic training and all those protesters. There has to be new laws, and countries have to work together. For example, Germany could help Sweden, and they need to come together. We know now many items of life actually needs to be changed for the better of humanity. We know the contraindications now, the sickness, deformities, and even death to our humanity. In 10 to 30 years, if you allow the Islamic to take over your country, they'll sell your girls into marriage at 8 years old, and you won't have a country because they're not businessmen. They're not businessmen. Do you understand? Iran makes money from war tools, okay? And they treat their people secondary. You need to understand this. We're not dealing with beautiful Dubai. Wake up, each country. Wake up. And all the elderly of each country, of UK, of Sweden, of France, of Scotland, of Ireland, of US, all need to pray. They all need to pray, and they're saving time. Instead of watching a lot of TV, they need to get on their knees and prostrate themselves, and they need to help their grandchildren and their families, and help America. And we will then be able to save America. These are many, many things that we talked about. Foods, transportation, and monetary systems, processing of ways to do business. Each state's to be self-sufficient. Each country has to be self-sufficient. Are you with me? And this is the same thing. Each country needs to be self-sufficient. Each country has to be preparedness of urgency, protection of areas and subjects. Find what is a small and large business and recreate it. And we need to realize the CCP in Canada, you have to be careful because Canada is in trouble, and Canada also needs protection. And now, since I wrote this in April 2025, Canada's had some big problems, but I've been concerned since 2019. I talked about Canada China goes from China to Russia, all the way across to Greenland to Canada, because they want to take over, and that's what I was saying. And then China is in the center. And then there's Iraq, Iran, and India, and there's Africa, and there's Iran, and there's Saudi Arabia. But remember, Iran is not infallible. That area we could use, and I have an answer for this to save our countries. I have an answer. Are you with me? And you know what the answer is? Is that Iran in Saudi Arabia, they will not, the water systems where they change the oil, we could set up drones to go right there and use that as leverage, that your places will be bombed if you do not take care of the truth. Are you with me? In the waterways where they deliver the oil, where Iran delivers the oil in that area, we could use this as leverage in saying, you try to touch us and your protesters try to touch us, you will be in trouble, because that area is untouchable, that waterway where they deliver the oil. Are you with me? Are you with me? So we need to come together with safety. Country, protect our boundaries, save your country, save your cultures. Self-sufficient nations. And we do this in God's power. other person or place or thing. And we need to come together in truth, in reconciliation. And here's my friend, Levine, which he was one of my mentors that I studied in my first book.
Hate Trump, hate Netanyahu, the people who hate Netanyahu hate Trump. People who hate the United States hate Israel. The people who hate Israel hate the United States.
See, and that's the same thing. Because we are the recommendation of freedom. We are the reflection of freedom. The United States and Israel of freedom. Those countries, the Islamic regime under the Brotherhood, are not a reflection of freedom. Don't you see? That's why you have to do all you can to save your country.
Yeah. And we Jews and Christians, we are united. United by our God, united by the Holy Land, the ancestral sites. If there wasn't Judaism, there'd be no Christianity.
See, this is true. Judaism is the old covenant. Christianity is the new covenant. But all those countries, UK, France, Scotland, Ireland, Finland, all those countries, Sweden need to take up the authority of God and his authority he has given you through the word of God and through the new covenant in Jesus Christ.
And to be perfectly honest with you, the United States has not been a majority Christian country. At its founding, writing the Declaration, the Constitution, there would be no Jews in the United States.
See, that's what I said. In 1774, there is a prayer called the Continental Congress Prayer of 1774 that we have a covenant with Jesus Christ to give him obedience, and then he'll take care of our country. And that's what you need to do, Sweden, UK, France, Ireland, Scotland. You can do it.
Or for that matter, any other minority. It's because of the Judeo-Christian value and belief system that we have the country we do. Preaches tolerance.
See that? And that's why I said Judeo-Christian nation. That's my thesis also. But this beautiful man, Mr. Levine, he taught me a lot in the beginning, before 2016. I quoted him in my book.
Look at your First Amendment. Cited all the time. People really understand it. The free exercise of religion, but no official religion.
See that? Free exercise of religion and no official religion. Islam is not official religion for any of these countries. You take up the authority of God, of the new covenant, of the power of God in your heart, in your soul, in your hands, in your path. You walk in the light, Sweden, in God first. You walk in the light, UK, in God first. You walk in the light of God, Sweden. You walk in the light of power, Sweden. You walk in the light of power, UK. You walk in the light of God's power. You walk in the light of God's power and light and wisdom and restoration, France and UK and Ireland. This is it now, and here it is. This is the transformation of all countries coming together, and there we are. They're all coming back to God, praying for this world to turn back to God, to save our countries. And by Christmas time, things are going to be smoothed out. Sweden is going to be saved. UK is going to be saved. France is going to be safe. Ireland, Scotland, they're all safe in God's power. You all need to be Moses to protect your countries and turn from the pagan ways and give your life first to God. Thank you so much. This is Lisa Lucci Arden. Please look me up. This is Lisa Lucci Arden. I appreciate your time. We are going to save our countries. We're going to save our countries. You think I've been working on this before 2007. I was called to study one world government. That's how I knew about one world government. I studied it in my bachelor's and was called and told that you're going to be doing a mission, and I've been doing this mission. But in Jesus Christ, salvation for all countries, the Sweet Children's Book, it has many different languages, which is interesting. that I wrote this book for Christmas time, and it talks about all the different languages, 26 languages, 26. If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you believe in justice, you believe in God, you believe in the Trinity. This is my work, Lisa Lucci Arden, and God first, America a miracle. God first. Countries are a miracle. You have to put God first to save your country. This is the paradigm in these books that we're using under President Trump, because I'm a presidential advisor. They use my things in the beginning before President Trump got in 2016. It lines up exactly at what we're supposed to do. I'm a presidential advisor, and they use these books in 2024. And I asked Elon Musk to come into the offices, to check the offices, which I asked him to fix in 2011, but it needs to be passed under Congress. And this is the other book. In God's Power, America Save Your Legacy. In God's Power, Country Save Your Legacy. These books show how to save your legacy. And we are doing it in America, and we're going to do it in Sweden. We're going to do it in UK, in France, in Ireland, in Scotland. Thank you so much. In God's Power, Country Save Your Legacy. And here's a Rise to God's Truth. This shows diligently what President Trump did in the team when he was in 2016, and what we need to do now to save our country. And it talks about the Constitution that's related to all of us, all countries, and that people that are immigrants need to respect the country. They try to change the mentality or our religion. And here's my book, I Need to Give to the World. That is the second edition. And it talks about how we need to heal America and the world, whether we are believers or not. We have a legacy of our forefathers and our children's future. There is an urgency now. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, Alpha and Omega. He's asking us to respect, love, and seek Him first, and to love our neighbor, because we want to heal. This is what America was built on, Judeo-Christian ethics, injustice. Thank you so much. This is Lisa Lucci Arden. God bless you. Please donate and help us. Thank you very much. This is Lisa Lucci Arden. God bless you. We're going to save under God's power, under the first commandment, Sweden, UK, France, Ireland, Scotland, USA. And we're going to go by the USA paradigm. And we're going to do this right away. Thank you.